Well, what's this girl, Meghan Markle? Seemed like a nice lady. Just complaining. I was like, didn't she hit the light skin lottery? Hit the fucking light skin lottery and still going on complaining.
Oh my gosh, I work so hard and
Trying to be a victim.
But seriously, it's gotta sell the mommy lifestyle. And it's gotta be all about me. But not seem like it's all about me. In California, we're just a regular couple living close to Oprah and far from the paparazzi. Woo! But not too far.
Lot going on to the news. My God, it's so crazy out there. What's going on with Meghan Markle? Lot going on to the news. My God, it's so crazy out there. What's going on with Meghan Markle? She thinks that everybody is just stupid. Like we can't see that she is manipulating his dumb husband. I really feel sorry for the family. Maybe everybody's fixated on how good looking this guy.
Going on Oprah, I didn't know. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. You didn't Google these motherfuckers? What the fuck is she talking about? She didn't know.
Let me tell you, when those lights dimmed and the crowd hushed, nobody knew what kind of storm was about to hit. But then, bam. Chris Rock didn't just walk out like it was any other night on stage. Oh no, honey, he detonated a bomb.
Oprah, they're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby was gonna be. They're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist. Cause even black people wanna know.
That's LA. She wants to be famous. She found the guy to make her the most famous in the world, and now she's over there and she's like, oh, this isn't what I thought.
What's the point of being famous?
They're so racist. They're so racist. Some of that he went through was not racism. It was just some in-law. Sometimes it's just some in-law. Cause she's complaining. I'm like, what the f you talking about?
no warm-up.
Within seconds, he zeroed in on Meghan Markle and her picture-perfect victim narrative and turned it into the night's biggest punchline. The audience, they weren't just laughing, they were gasping, clutching their seats like they were watching history
What the fuck is she talking about? She didn't know. The fuck? It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
I mean this sincerely, Prince Harry and Meghan, we don't give a America don't give a fuck about you. We don't care about the royal family. We never cared about nothing that had to do with y'all. 1775 was the last time we gave.
If she didn't marry him, she would be on The Bachelor this season. Fighting for Prince. She would be Megan M. from Sherman Oaks barista. She just got lucky. She got so lucky.
Fold live on Netflix. This wasn't a comedy show anymore. It was a cultural earthquake. Chris didn't waste a single second. No warm-up, no polite jokes to ease the crowd in. He went straight for the jugular. That first hit landed so hard the room shook with laughter, but it wasn't just laughter, it was release. People realized right there in the moment that Rock wasn't just entertaining them, he was tearing down a royal fairy tale in real time. Live for the world to see. And let's be clear, this wasn't just some silly little
This candle just reminds me so much of growing up in LA.
The big question everyone's asking right now is, why?
You know what? This knife reminds me of growing up in LA.
I think they'll move to LA because Meghan is an actor, right? And then Harry can just join the cast of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yeah. Just be like fighting on TV. I know what you said about me, Denise. Say it to my face.
Kosher salt brings me back to my days in LA. I'm an LA native. I am a Los Angelite.
They're taking a sabbatical? From what? Helping their grandma pick out hats? Get the f out of here, man.
This salt reminds me of growing up in LA. This carbon monoxide detector just really takes me back to my time in LA where I grew up.
How are you gonna take a break from being royalty? What are you doing? This is like the weirdest thing. Oh, just have to take a break. Too many people serve at guys. That's too much.
I grew up in LA.
Make no mistake.
monologue. No, this was Chris Rock grabbing Meghan Markle's carefully crafted Oprah interview narrative, holding it up to the light and slicing it into shreds. And once he set that tone,
This is huge. Harry and Meghan are leaving the palace to become financially independent.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. Now I've actually heard their side of the story, I f***ing hate them.
If you are a watcher of the royal family and you like secrets, you might want to sit down because this is a doozy. Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
Comedians, satirists, cartoonists, you name it, piled on. Meghan and Harry became the world's favorite punchline. And if that wasn't enough, Bill Maher swooped in with his icy cutting analysis. The kind of commentary that doesn't just sting, it sticks, like a brutal life lesson disguised as comedy. You see, what happened that night wasn't just entertainment. It was the unraveling.
And you see, this is what happens when you bring the first black woman into the royal family.
If you haven't seen the documentary, lucky you.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Of Meghan's story, the collapse of a whole narrative that she and Harry had been building for years. And the wildest part? It all started with one man, standing alone under the Netflix spotlight, not afraid to call it like it is. And oh, when Chris got to Meghan's famous Oprah claim, the one where she swore up and down she had no clue what kind of family she...
One excuse no one was buying.
Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
Something terrible happened to William and Kate and the kids, right? The Queen and Charles are very old, they're going to go at some stage, and then you're left with King Andrew. No one wants that.
Ginger Royal meets fit American actress. She then discovers that everything is so unfair.
Yeah. She looked at Harry and she's like, you need to get a job. You need a job.
Who got the Kroger peanut butter? It's not even organic. I thought they gave us $50 million to make this show.
And then came the
he was marrying into. The audience lost it. Chris stood there, staring out like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. And then he snapped the line that had the crowd howling. You didn't Google the royal family? The delivery was savage. And Meghan's excuse? Shattered in seconds. Rock's timing was razor sharp. He didn't just throw out the
And then they complain about everything. They were complaining they had to pay for their own security. They were not happy about that. Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack them.
You a grown-ass man. You can't still be living in your mama's house, Harry.
We can have a fresh start here. Lead a normal life and have babies. Can we? Can we rally him up here and finally have our own privacy?
After dismantling,
he acted it out, dripping with disbelief. He made Meghan's excuse look not just questionable, but downright absurd. The sarcasm was layered, the punch hit harder, and the laughter rolling through the room wasn't just because it was funny. It was because everyone already knew deep down this was the one excuse nobody was buying. And then came the kill shot. Chris Rock compared Meghan's "I didn't expect racism."
Harry says, how do you explain to someone who just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother?
How do you explain that you bow to your grandmother and that you will need to curtsy? Especially to an American. Like, that's weird.
And I'm thinking, maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the queen.
We want privacy. We want privacy. So let me start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family. You've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Win.
But his claim to someone marrying into the Budweiser family and being shocked they liked beer. The crowd lost their minds. It was brutal, it was simple, and it cut her narrative to the bone. No journalist, no tabloid, no royal insider could have destroyed that excuse the way Chris did in that one punchline.
He assumed it was for the obvious reason. M is the 13th letter of the alphabet, and H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. 8 plus 13 is 21. 21 was Deion Sanders' number, and Deion Sanders' nickname was Neon Dion, obviously a reference to how they light up each other's lives.
Wow. Look at this town. There's just something about it. Oh, darling, I think this might be the place. You really think so? It's so quiet and empty here. If we moved here, then people would think we're really serious about wanting to be normal.
No matter how hard I tried, no matter how good I was, no matter what I did, they were still going to find a way to destroy me.
But Chris wasn't finished. He twisted the knife. Meghan had also cried about what she called racism within the royal family. But Rock? He brushed it off with that trademark smirk. That wasn't racism, he quipped. That was just in-law stuff. And the audience roared because suddenly
down to nothing.
I get it. In the 80s, I dated a very famous woman whose identity I will never reveal and only ever refer to her using our secret nickname, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
Wow. Y'all look good, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all look good.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
But no, Markle revealed that at the beginning of us dating, when everything was in code, I couldn't tell anyone who I was dating and who was keeping the secret, so I think we were just on a letter basis.
It's so funny you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know it's Sussex.
Chris Rock. It all felt blown out of proportion. He wasn't just mocking Meghan, he was cutting through the melodrama, reminding everyone that not everything in life is some giant scandal. But oh, the most savage strike was still coming. Chris turned to the infamous claim that the royals asked how dark the baby would be. You could feel the tension in the room, but Rock didn't flinch. He dropped it cold. That's not racist. Even
Lazy, pampered, and completely out of touch with real life.
The f is she talking about? I didn't know. That's like marrying into the Budweiser family and going, they drink a lot.
Hey, it's the husband formerly known as Prince. Any luck getting a job?
Oh, they had me driving for Uber Eats, but there were too many damn rules. Don't touch the food. Don't taste the food. Drive on the road.
I'm sorry, Rowdy Weddy.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
The Duchess of Sussex shared a photo of herself cuddling her daughter on Instagram and a never-before-seen picture from her birth.
Black families want to know how brown the baby's gonna be. The audience exploded. The room shook with laughter because, in one stroke, he turned months of global outrage into a single joke that demolished the drama. And just like that, the big, explosive headline that Meghan and Harry had written for months was deflated, popped like a balloon. That one observation stripped it down to nothing, and the crowd couldn't stop laughing. It wasn't cruel for the sake of being cruel, it was clarity wrapped in comedy, and it left Meghan's claims hanging limp in the air. By the end of that set, nobody doubted it anymore.
We want privacy! We want privacy! Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving twife actually doesn't want her privacy. How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving twife has always wanted her privacy!
5 minutes later.
Who's filming this? If I'm going to succeed in America, I need a lifestyle brand of creams and supplements. Gwyneth Paltrow has Goop, Kourtney Kardashian has Poosh, and Jamie Lee Curtis has Poogert. Now I've got mine, Meg Goo, celebrating the sexy earth goddess in all of us.
That she was hunting for a man in England. She wanted wealth and she wanted fame, and she targeted Harry.
Chris Rock had taken off the gloves. But listen, Chris Rock may have lit the first spark, but what came after? Oh honey, it was a wildfire. Jump across the pond to Britain, and their satire shows went in hard. They turned Harry and Meghan into a non-stop running...
And this is sweet. Meghan Markle said she has a finger they can use if they need it.
I don't know, Megs. I've tried every career there is. Prince, Hitler. Maybe I'm just not qualified for anything.
That's not true. You're a great husband, a good-hearted man. You've got big, muscular teeth.
Thanks, Meg. And I guess now I'm qualified for this. Unemployment!
Best way to have a snack is to take the snack out of one bag and then move them into another bag and then label this new bag, even though this bag already has a label on it. Tap water!
Joke. Puppet parodies mocked Meghan as this desperate figure, always trying to tell her truth while conveniently cashing massive podcast checks. And Harry, please. He was painted...
Oh my God, that hat. Oh God. He's so hot. Look at him. Isn't Prince Harry? I mean, she bagged a fox.
Meghan, you have been working so hard. Oh my God. You're probably the hardest worker in the world. I don't know anybody that's worked as hard as you. I don't know, I'm just doing my best.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Careful, Harry. I spilled some essential oils on the floor.
As lazy, spoiled, and so pampered he couldn't even recognize what real life looked like. And it didn't stop there. They dragged him for every privilege, every silly moment, every clueless expression. Meghan was shown as thirsty for fame, Harry as the clueless sidekick. The image they tried so hard to sell of being brave truth-tellers escaping the cold palace was flipped and served back as pure mockery. One sketch was so savage it had the audience rolling. Picture this. Harry bragging that his butler had run a 10K for him at dawn, only to wake Harry up afterwards so he could Google if he was still fifth in line to the throne. The pettiness. And then came another brutal hit. Satirists dragged their Netflix deal through the mud, reducing it to nothing but a giant paycheck for doing, well, nothing. And when the Sussexes screamed about wanting privacy, these shows twisted the knife. Oh, so you move far away from paparazzi, but not too far from Oprah? The hypocrisy was laid out for all to see. It was ruthless, relentless, and it painted them as the very thing they didn't want to be. Hypocrites who couldn't stop contradicting themselves. And while the Brits was slicing them apart, guess what was happening across the ocean? American late-night TV had been sharpening its knives for years, just waiting for the right moment. Saturday Night Live turned Harry into a recurring punchline, the goofy little brother who could never quite keep up with William. Every sketch ended the same. Harry cracked a dumb joke, William snapped at him, and Harry scrambled to smooth things over. Over and over again, the message was clear. Harry was the weaker royal. And Meghan, she wasn't spared either. SNL roasted her acting career, reducing Suits, her claim to fame, to something so boring it could put kids to sleep. And then Jimmy Fallon jumped in, ridiculing Meghan's awkward Netflix moments. Remember that infamous scene where she rebagged pretzels for no reason? Fallon milked it, turning Meghan's life hack into a global punchline. And oh, the wedding. Fallon quipped about Meghan's claim that she and Harry secretly married 3 days before the royal ceremony. Fans who woke up early to watch? Fallon joked they basically tuned in to see two people get married twice. And Conan O'Brien? He took it to another level, joking about Madame Tussauds ditching their wax figures and imagining them being creepily stored in someone's basement. Creepy, savage, and hilarious. Late-night TV just wouldn't stop. Meghan's acting, Harry's cluelessness, their Netflix deal, their obsession with privacy. Every piece of their story was shredded. And the internet? Oh, the internet picked up the baton and ran with it. Influencers, parody accounts, and YouTubers began tearing apart Meghan's Netflix show scene by scene. One parody went viral after exaggerating the awkward moment with Mindy Kaling when Meghan insisted she was Meghan Sussex now, not Markle. The mock version made her sound self-important and desperate, and audiences devoured it. And then there was Meghan's favorite hobby, name-dropping celebrities who didn't actually seem to know her. Online parodies mocked her, joking, "Mindy and I are best friends, she just doesn't know my name." It was brutal, but oh so funny. And don't forget, the pretzel scene. That bizarre little moment where Meghan poured pretzels from one bag into another, labeling it like it was revolutionary. The internet had a field day, turning it into meme after meme. At this point, Meghan and Harry weren't just mocked on TV, they had become the internet's favorite roast material. Just when you thought the dragging had peaked, South Park swooped in and dropped the knockout blow of all knockout blows. They didn't just poke fun, they dedicated an entire episode to Harry and Meghan called the Worldwide Privacy Tour. And oh, it was savage from start to finish. The episode opened with a parody of Harry's memoir, roasting his endless whining about a hard life, despite literally being one of the most privileged people alive. And then came the scene that defined it all. Harry and Meghan flying around the globe on a private jet, blasting megaphones yelling, "We want privacy!" I mean, the hypocrisy was sliced open in a single image. Fans couldn't stop replaying it, laughing because it summed everything up so perfectly. South Park didn't hold back with Meghan either. They portrayed her as desperate for fame, chasing celebrity status while insisting she wanted to be normal. Meanwhile, Harry was shown as the clueless sidekick, always defending her no matter how ridiculous she looked. And when the couple finally settled in a quiet little town, their confusion was hysterical. It wasn't privacy they wanted, it was attention. That single episode locked Harry and Meghan's caricatures into pop culture forever. To Maher, Harry and Meghan's whole project was doomed, because you can't have privilege and constant whining coexist. They simply don't mix. His words weren't just comedy, they were a reality check, and the audience knew it. By this point, it was over. Chris Rock's Netflix roast had started the fire. Late-night hosts poured gasoline. The internet spread the flames. South Park and Family Guy struck the matches again. And Bill Maher? He slammed the coffin shut. What Meghan and Harry had built, a carefully polished narrative of escape, victimhood, and reinvention, was left in ashes. And the laughter echoing across stadiums, TV screens, and timelines wasn't harmless. It was judgment. Judgment disguised as humor, the kind that leaves scars. Because here's the truth. Once comedians get a hold of you, once they turn your story into a joke, it's nearly impossible to come back. You can control interviews, you can spin headlines, you can even sue tabloids, but you can't fight comedy. Laughter is the people's verdict, and once the world laughs at you, it's over. And that's why Bill Maher's final strike hit hardest. He wasn't joking when he said the Sussexes' contradictions were too big to survive. You can't demand sympathy while living in luxury. You can't preach privacy while chasing every spotlight. You can't wage war on the media while cashing media checks. The moment the public realizes that contradiction, you stop being a story. You become a punchline. And so now the question lingers like a shadow over Meghan and Harry's empire. After so many blunders, so much ridicule, so many self-inflicted wounds, can they ever rebuild their image? Or are they forever forever trapped as the butt of the joke, because let's be real, the world has decided, and the verdict came not in a courtroom, not in a palace, but in stadiums, TV shows, memes, and stand-up sets. Meghan and Harry didn't just lose control of their narrative, they lost it in the loudest, most humiliating way possible, through laughter that just won't stop.